Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer1745 here with my continuing look at World Ablaze mod for Hearts of Iron 4's No Step Back DLC. Now, before we get into it, I want to thank Victor, Kevin, Timothy, Nils, Yogdog, Sircon, Chief, Sir Toyjet, and others for your support on Patreon. I should thank you guys more than I do. I really appreciate the support. If anybody wants to, it's only a minimum $1 a month if they want to contribute it, and they can cancel any time. But what I really just actually ask is, if you're here, hit the like button on the YouTube video, and if you're new, hit the subscribe button. That's all I really ask from viewers to do. Other support on Patreon is pleasant and nice, and I appreciate it greatly, but not something I'm asking anybody to do. So yes, and we're going to continue here in July 1938. We are building up to World War II, and I don't know if I didn't. I don't like these things. I got to come in and click all the time. Don't know if that'll get me my trading back to the Netherlands well enough, but root more divisions. Okay, recruit more reserve divisions. We should look at these. Okay, block the Straits of Dover. Yeah, whatever. At least 100,000 manpower in divisions in the field at peace. So this will reduce factory output by 15% and training time for 90 days. Effects will lead to 30 more. Infantry developed at 20. Okay, we'll try this. Okay, let's see, because we do have a fair amount of political power. Iron mines. Now. We are importing. We're not getting all of. We're getting enough, but not all of our possible rubber from there. We're bringing some iron in from Sweden, so I guess it would be nice to develop some iron mines. Okay, that will help. Continuing our push in and around Spain here. Let's take a look on how Japan is doing out in China. Let's see, the bad guys look like they're winning. We were talking earlier about professors. I had one professor, political science professor, that his hypothesis was that all wars come about because of mistakes. Every single one of them. That was his hypothesis, and he pushed this really hard. He pushed the idea that if I'm trying to give it correct viewpoint, that because I was thinking, Japan coming into China, and it was a mistake, and yes, that the aggressing nation would if the aggressing nation how do I put this? You did it better. it's a mistaken perception, because either one of two nations is making a mistake. Either the aggressive nation is pushing, and if he goes into war, he's made the mistake that the enemy would not give in to his demands. But the defending nation is also making a mistake, or the defending nation is making a mistake in that the attacker will attack, and he should just give up. So his premise was that, let me get an illustration. Let's go, because Arno's here, the Netherlands, and Germany's invasion of the Netherlands. His argument here would be is that Germany's going to attack. It's going to be very, very bad. There is no way the Netherlands can defeat Germany. So the Netherlands should just give in, because, hey, why fight a war that you're just going to lose? It is a mistaken perception that you have the ability to defend yourself, so you should just give in. Okay. Germany attacks the Soviet Union. This is a mistake, because Germany mistakenly believes it can defeat the Soviet Union. So Germany made the mistake, not the Soviet Union this time, because the Soviet Union rightfully justified its belief that it could defend itself. His hypothesis, in my opinion, is incorrect, in that there are nations at times that will know they will lose, but they will fight anyways, and that it is good for them, because in the long run they will still have a nation. And a good example of this would be Poland. Poland was, in 3 different successive waves, was conquered. And in different generations, with the Habsburgs, the Prussians, and the Russians all slowly gobbling up Poland. They beg Napoleon for their independence. Napoleon gives them independence, with the idea that they would be willing to fight for Napoleon. And Polish Uhlans, which were a type of cavalry, and some other units fought very hard for Napoleon in his wars of conquest, including out in Spain and other places that don't matter for Poland. But then, of course, Napoleon wins or loses, and Poland disappears again. But we see Polish resurgence after the World War I, and fighting and defeating a Bolshevik, Soviet, whatever you want to call it, invasion, and throwing them out, so Poland gets to be a nation. Poland fights the beginning of World War II and loses, but fights determinedly hard, and fights again when, during the war. I mean, there's both, mostly in the West, though there is some stuff in the East. Even there are some pro-Soviet Poles, pro-Bolshevik Poles that fight during World War II, and then what they think is going to win, they do the worst, not the Jewish ghetto uprising, but the Warsaw uprising. They do now. They mistakenly think that the Soviets will continue their advance, but as soon as Stalin hears about the Warsaw uprising, he halts any advancement along that front line and waits until Germany puts down kills off all the Poles before he advances again, because he does not want these strong nationalistic Poles. But because of that, because the perceptions in the West, Stalin has to create a Polish state. I don't know. He probably would have anyways, but I'm not sure on that because remember, these regions here were all part of Russia, and I could readily see Russia, Stalin just taking those again, and these parts here would just end up being part of what becomes East Germany. Because this becomes, well, yeah, this sort of up here becomes part of Russia itself. So I could just see Russia taking all of East Prussia. I keep clicking on an airbase. Take all of East Prussia as directly part of the Soviet Union. So Poland fights and loses multiple times during World War II, but it successfully creates the idea, the national identity of Poland in fights. So sometimes you know you're going to lose, but you still fight, and it is not a mistake to do so. Oh, even more bots over on YouTube for Arno. How nice. Not that they're terrible bots, but you don't want to follow them, and we don't need them here and whatnot. So yes, I think his hypothesis is a mixture of wrong and useless because, it's just more of these anti-war leftists that war is always the mistake, and either you're not going to defend yourself well enough, or the enemy will just, not attack you, so just no war. War is going to happen, people, unfortunately. And it's not some grand mistake. Okay, we're going to try to cut these guys off. Maybe the nationalist. Okay, let's see, we're here, we're in the south. We're going to move to this air base here. Yeah, we're going to put air more over there. There we go. Got these guys cut off. Let's support this attack. Okay, good. We'll give Spaniards and the Italians and others to sort of react to the changing of the battle. Okay, so we now have Westwall. Cheap, easy. Hit national focus button. Get Westwall. Well, where's Westwall? Why did I misread it? Oh, I think. Oh, yes, I did. This is actually sort of smarter stuff. Build the border watch. Okay. Use. Oh, okay. So hey, this is actually pretty good. I like this. I like this. So this is just not hit button get result. That's what I don't like about Hoi 4's setup. It's hit button now do this. So 90 days. So we've got 90 days to wait before we do build Westwall border watch. The Grenzline, I think it's called in German. Is good there. We're still not yet to 1 million man army. We're not going to send 500. Okay, we'll do this now. Okay, so keep that in mind, people. When you're playing this mod, you probably want to do the Westwall a little earlier than I did to get it completed or get it in better state. Earlier. They've reacted now. Yeah, let's push up in here so we're not crossing a river. This way, come in here, cut off all these railroads. Maybe the Nationalists will move in behind me. Create in this pocket. Okay, they're going to collapse fast, I think. Okay, let's attack there. Create another pocket. Small one, but... Uh-oh, we got cut off. Come on, people. Okay, now we're back to being connected. Stop attacking here, because there's 4 of them here, but there's only 1 here. So if we get that now, we've got these guys cut off. Look, back here. Don't lose the plot here. Let's attack here. Okay, well, we've expanded our fuel silos, but I think I want to do another one. Let's put it, yeah, about... even more prediction capable. Okay. But this is absolutely needed, but some radars. Getting close enough. There may be events to do the radars better, I don't know, for building them, but I want a few to make sure I'll at least have those. We have General Rommel in charge here. He is reckless, he's a media personality, he's an armored officer, he's a war hero, he's a trickster, he's a desert fox. But it says here that he's learning to be a mountaineer and he's 13% done. I would suggest that probably both the developers of Hearts of Iron 4 and the people who, Uncharted and whoever, that make World of Blade, ought to read a book not just any book, but maybe they ought to read a book called Infantry Attacks. They will find that Rommel spends virtually, 80-90% of his career in World War I as a mountain soldier. He was probably one of the premier mountaineers in German service. He should have that trait at start, more so than panzers or other traits like that. He is very much... Hello, Suitor. How you doing? How is life treating you today? Okay. Form the Waffen-SS 2 days. How's that? Okay. Yeah, I think we should go full Nazi now. Do we want to do this? Coming up to this, well, we haven't trained the army. I will train the army up at least some before the outbreak of the war, and no, we can't do anything. So let's add unit here. Add unit here, add unit there. Okay, that maxes out our training potential. Yeah, let's go full Nazi here. I think Rommel made a book. Infantry Attacks is his book, and it's all set in the mountains except for the earliest days. The earliest days he is commanding a Bavarian company or whatever in the Low Countries here. But after he's wounded and then comes back to service, it's all in the mountains. Is going for the SS lead to something useful? Well, I don't know. If it does or doesn't, it's as much about, for me, just exploring the mod and seeing what's going on. I'm presuming it's going to give us Waffen-SS unit type things. Okay, well. 14 days. What I'm sort of waiting on here is, let's come over here. Okay. Well, this may be no. We have the Panther. Do we want to do this now, or just about everything is early here? Hey, thanks for following the channel. Do appreciate it. Black might be useful, at least to cheap AAs. Okay. Bit of peace and quiet after helping out with the release of CK3 DLC. How are you doing? I haven't been playing CK3 at all, but glad it's out. I'm doing great. Okay. Research. Those are just yeah, let's do that. Okay, so we will consider, though we're doing the Waffen-SS now, but we'll consider doing more flat towers. Oh, and we want to put, okay, we want to come down here and do a +1 so it's not infinite. So whenever these are completed, some are much further. Okay, that one's hardly along at all, so we're going to cancel this. That isn't long enough at all. Even these may not be great, but we'll accept them and keep them going. We're just building Submarines will do the Type 7C here, class U-boats. Oh, mentioning U-boats here, Ari, who I think is still hanging out in chat, recently gave me the game U-boat, and I've been playing it some, just going through the tutorial right now. I will be making a few episodes. I was thinking to have my friend Eric, who was here but maybe is also off now, I don't know, edit them up. If you were going to watch something like U-boat, that you command a U-boat and you tell different crew members what to do, and yes, there is a fast forward, so as you're coming out of La Rochelle or whatever, you can get to your zone of operation a lot quicker. So because it goes down to real time, or maybe near real time, as a base thing to speed up to super fast. I mean, there's different speeds. Would you want to see that raw? And yeah, I'll be speeding things up, or would you rather see that edited down to the essential bits, the fun bits? And basically, it's you command the U-boat, you command the officers, and then there's some enlisted men that'll follow along with, depending. Like if you have an officer up, with binoculars scanning the horizon, you can assign. And they'll sort of pick them, but you can assign like a couple of other enlisted men to come up and help, search for possible targets. Or if you're had an officer come up to command a gun to sink a freighter, and I had two other crewmen come up and assist them. So you're sort of telling them what to do. You're planning, you're supplying the submarine with food and whatnot and fuel, getting ready to go out and have it. So don't know. It seems like a fun game. I'm definitely going to make some, and then see if enough of you watch it, whether I'll do a complete sort of series on it or not. That's everything, guys. Is I know some people get frustrated that I don't complete series. Well, a lot of it is viewership goes down, and I really don't need to make games for nobody to watch them, or very few people. So I'm always conscious of the numbers. Yeah, they're doing some pretty good tech trees here, Suter. For some nations, like Austria was just generic. We can see here, for Czechoslovakia, they have a pretty decent one. They're doing some ARM exports. I want them to do the industry before I take them over, because I want to take over a well-developed Czech industry. But they've been doing ports, which won't help them any with the, defenses if I just get them without fighting. But yeah, they're doing a decent job here with World Ablaze. Make a better U-boat version. Well, okay. Well, these are fixed, Arno. As far as I understand, these models for things like U-boats are fixed to the historical ones. So you do have some things like better depth charges or sonar, but you don't do better versions of U-boats. They're fixed to the historical model. So when we can theoretically, whether I will or not, research better U-boats that way, just going down there to see some raw. But if you do it at regular one speed, yeah, well, part of it would be, the attack run, setting up the, for the torpedo attacks and whatnot would probably be a slower speed. I don't know. Just didn't know if you guys had a preference for editor or not. Oh, we need to get another one of the U-boats into production fully. Okay, again, our best class currently. U-boat. Yeah, we'll see about researching some of that. These I think will upgrade on already developed, so we could do sonar, I guess. Oh, this is motorized and mechanized units. I didn't realize vehicle winch here. Okay. Snorkel, that is later. Basic submarine fuel tank. Okay, well, we could do some of that. We'll just be getting a lot of these because I like that we can normally keep them on infinite, but as we run out of currently produced models, yeah, as we go through these. Okay, 10 reserve divisions, excellent, and that. Okay, so let's look here. Develop the German coastline. Okay, add building slots, divert production, storage repairs. Well, we don't need that just yet. Berlin. Oh, so this is, well, it's surplus, which isn't bad. We have a surplus of iron importing, so let's take that down by at least 50 there. Are we importing any? Oh, we are importing some bauxite, so okay, we don't need any of this. That'll free up some factories. Okay, so yes, we'll come over here and no, here. I didn't realize we'll do the winch first. Yeah, we'll do the sub fuel tanks first. Generally, the boring parts of U-boat are the parts where there's nothing spotted or head on hydro, and you're just waiting to find. Yeah, these. That's sort of what I'm thinking is why if I get somebody to edit it, Eric's a very good editor. And likes doing the job. I don't dislike it, it just takes time. And I produce a lot of episodes. Okay, we have the Waffen SS, don't know. There'll probably be some stuff over here. Okay, well, we're producing units as fast as we can currently. So this is the times in October, September that happened historically. Yeah, let's try this. We got as big as army as we can be training and working right now. Yeah, we can do more. Okay, we've gotten a lot of fuel silos. Maybe not. I was recommended to have approximately 200 plus military factories, and we've achieved that goal, especially by the time the war starts. Once we get the Czechoslovakia done. More sub production. Yeah, this is just going to be a send out subs and do that kind of stuff. Really, maybe I should produce transports. Okay, we'll produce some transports. Things. Okay, we won here, yay. Well, a little earlier than historical, but not huge. Okay, well, we no longer do the Spanish thing because we've now won. Now, let's see here. Okay, yeah, Himmler Field Command, no, not insane. The only thing worse is you would want Himmler to do something athletic. Well, okay, so we built the first Grenzwatch here. We've got level 3 along the border there. I like Grenz because of the border. Starland has full control. And here, two along the French border. Very well. I guess so. We're going to go a bit higher on things. Yeah. Good, Federico. Himmler was an administrator. That's all he was. All he was functionally capable of being. He was lousy. I would say lousy at power politics. Dealing with other. There's a lot of sort of power politics going on within the National Socialist regime. Himmler, I should say, Himmler's always having to tag along with others in the politics game. He does have the secret police and the sort of threats there, but that's it. He's not good at doing a lot of that kind of maneuvering. I would judge. He just isn't. He's an administrator. He is building up the administrative Waffen-SS state, and he relies heavily on people like Reinhard Heydrich, Sepp Dietrich, as, use sort of a modern term, influencers in around Hitler. Hitler, I believe, likes Sepp Dietrich. And he uses Paul Hauser and others for the military influence that is going on with the Waffen-SS. But he is not a good politician. He's not going to run governments well. And he's definitely not going to run militaries well. Entire group, army group surrounded. Not yet, anyways. Yeah. Okay. So we got some more. Let's do synthetic refineries, I think. I think we'll do some more synthetic refineries out here in the east. now, fighters that we need to put into production. Well, here these are not hugely in advance, so we'll start leaning into some of these now. Right, better armored cars, and again, we're moving over back to industry. Okay, good. Now, it was 21 days. Flat towers, maybe. Observation from Spain, definitely. There we go. Get that through. Okay. Very good. Yep. The division back somewhere. Okay, and okay, good. Okay, Rommel is. He should be a mountaineer. Expert at it. Good. Now, no, we should. Well, we'll do that in a moment. Well, 35. Not doing that till the war breaks out. Now we'll do this 21 days. Maybe that'll get us. Now, can we deploy? Okay, we can deploy these guys. I know they're not 100% trained. Does that? Maybe done it before starting flat towers. Okay, not yet. I'm sure there's some way to see how many people we have, but it doesn't really matter. We're training up people as fast as we can now. Well, mentioning that, let's give a few of these guys some training instructions. Don't know if there's any railways we should be building. But yeah, we'll build another fuel, or not a fuel silo, but a synthetic fuel. Manpower icon, okay, here. Okay, infield, okay, yes, we do have that, right. So in training, well, if we get what we have in field and in training out there, it won't be enough yet, but it'll be nearly so. Well, it's about as fast as we can expand our army right now. Could have earlier on jumped a little bit faster on how many divisions we had, but I was maybe wrongly worried about stockpiles at the time. Like I say, maybe wrongly. Flat towers. Yeah, okay, this isn't going to happen. No, we're not going to do city fortresses now. Not that this is enough. I don't know if anything is ever enough, like as in fuel, but let's do a bit more. Let's see what we can do here now. Build Westwall air defense zones. Right, okay.
Ihre Befehle. Ausrücken. Bereit.
Sure.
Ausrücken. Angetreten.
I'm gonna eventually break these guys up here in the north off in their own
Zuhören.
command.
Bereit zum Ausrücken.
Reeves Army. Well, putting us a little behind, but let's do creation of Panzer 3. We don't need to even do this, it looks like. So we'll over here and develop more iron. Now let's look here for, well, production cost for artillery. That would be nice. Down. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do right tall. Superiority, air experience gain. Yeah, we'll do air superiority. I think we're going to try to keep our ships out of action as much as possible and use submarines. So we're going to go donuts, and he's also tasty, of course. And I think we're going to end the episode, not the live stream, but the episode here. Want to thank you all for hanging out with me. I really do appreciate it. See you next time for more, yes, even more